Hey, Tees, how's it going? Mr. Cortez here. And on this video, we're going to be going over timers and counters. Okay, so on the first video, we went over contacts instruction. So normally open, normally close. We also learned how to integrate outputs to be able to change state or turn on or off depending on the ladder logic. So now we're going to go over timers and counters. Okay, so let me share my screen to get the Click software up and we'll get going. Okay, so um, what a timer or counter are additional set of instructions, right? So we can use timers to have a slight delay to turn things on and have a slight delay to turn things off. We can also use counters to be able to count things or have a number of things, or I'm sorry, have a number of times an input has to be um, activated in order to turn on a load, right? So I'll just show you guys a couple of examples on how to do that. So on the screen here, I already have a X001 input, right? And that's the green button, the green push button. So I'm just going to keep that to keep it simple. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a timer right here for timer number. So in a PLC program it in real life out in the field, you can use many different counters, right? I think you have up to, I don't know, 500, right? That's a lot of timers. You just have the option, right? You obviously don't have to use every single one, but what the timer number is just an address that we have to assign to the timer. So we're gonna click here since I have nothing else, so I'll click T1. And so right here, this bottom portion where it says the set point, right? That's going to be how many seconds, right? So you you can select between milliseconds, seconds, minutes, hours, and days, right? We're going to go to second. We're going to go 3 seconds for the value. And right here on the delay setting, this is where you can select either an on delay or an off delay, right? So right here, this third option, current value will not be retained while the timer is disabled. So that means that the time will not stay. It will reset. If you click this bottom one, then you'll have an additional input to reset it. And I'll show you guys how that works and how to integrate it. We'll just start simple and we'll just do a simple setup. And then so right here, then this bit becomes available and that's a timer. And so when this is true, this timer will start. And then when that completes, it will activate this T1 coil, right? So right here, we don't have out. I think it took off the output that I had there. So now what we have to do is that we have to come here with the normally open contact. And here what we're going to do is this contact is not going to be a physical input, right? It's not an additional button that I'm integrating. This is a digital contact, right? So we can assign it digital addresses. So that means that this T1, which is the output from this timer, we can assign that T1 to this input, right? T1, you can see here when you have a green check mark, then it's good. If it's red, is that it's an invalid address. So right there, we're going to click that. And then here, now we can put our output and let's have the green light turn on, Y001. And click OK. And we have to put our end instruction, right? So we have it set to 3 seconds. So now let's write the project onto the PLC and test it. Okay, downloading to the PLC. On more expensive PLCs, this process here is trickier. So with the Click PLCs, they've streamlined it, so it's a lot quicker. So that's something that's great. It's a great feature because we don't have to sit and worry too much about IP addresses and COM problems, which can be rather tricky. And I wouldn't have a clue what to do with that stuff because I'm not good with networking computers and things like that. So now we're going to test it. And so right here, oops. So what I forgot to integrate was, right, this is a momentary button. So you can see here it counts up, but it doesn't go all the way, right? You have to keep it held down to be able to count to 3. So hold it down 1, 2, 3. Then it turns on. Right? It's gonna stay on until I let it go. And when I let it go, it's gonna reset to 0, right? And that's what we see on this counter here. So let me show you guys again, just so you can see just the PLC. They're gonna press 1, 2, 3, turns on, and then you let go, it turns off, right? So that's your timer on delay. So now let's do a timer off delay. So here we're going to switch this to off delay, and we're going to click OK, and we're going to download it to the PLC. Okay, transfer complete. Going to run it. Now we're going to operate, right? And remember that we just hold it, right? That held, and I'm going to explain why that happened. So on this one, we don't have to hold it, right? Because this is an off delay. So as soon as we press and we get a pulse of continuity to the off delay, it's going to delay turning off for 3 seconds. That's what the off delay is, right? So we're going to do it again. 1, 2, 3, off. All right, and you can see the logic on the, well, actually, I'm not sharing my screen all the way. Let me share so you guys can see the click programming. Right, and so once again, what I did was came in here, I did off delay, same T1 and same set point. And so we're going to, well, it's still connected, so we're going to go ahead and press it. And let's turn on the status view so you guys can see what's going on here. Oh, because I think I changed something. So let's re-download it. Okay, so now we're going to go. Do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, and off. Right, so you guys can see that's how an off delay works. That it delays to turn off, right? Let's go back to the on delay. And so now you guys can see the reset with the additional input. So right here, click OK. You can see now we have a new line right there. Right, we have this, make sure that my screen is, yeah. We have that new input, and that's the reset input, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to grab our line. Oops. And we're going to extend this out. Sure, there's a better, more efficient way to do this, but I think if you hold down control, you can just go all the way. But I'm not quite there yet. Okay, so now we got our line, and let's erase this one here. So now we're going to put in another input there to reset it. So we can do a normally open contact, and this one will give X003. So the black button is the reset, and the green button will start it on. So same output, same everything else. So let's go ahead and write the project. And download it to the PLC. Transfer complete. I go run. So now let's, all right, this is the on delay. So we have to hold this down for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Turns on. Right. And then this one will stay on until we reset it. Right. And so we have the X003 as the reset. So once I press this one, resets it. Right. So let me show you guys just with the PLC. 1, 2, 3. Right. And that's going to stay on, right? Because we now have the reset option. gonna stay on until we reset it with this one. So you guys can see how the timers work. On delay and off delay. So let's go back here. So it takes care of the timers, right? And so on this part, for example, how you had to hold the button on, right? If you wanted to leave it on, you can do a latching relay, right? So um, a latching relay, you would create a parallel circuit here and pretty much make a holding contact. And that holding contact can be a digital contact too. So that takes care of the timers. So now let's work with the counters. Gonna drop a counter there. And again, just like with the timer, we have to assign it a counter number. So we're gonna just do CT1 and we get to assign it a set point. So let's have it a set point of 5. And we're gonna click OK. Right, so right here we have this line we're gonna have to delete. Delete this and delete that because we don't have oh, there's a reset. Didn't have to delete that. So let's draw it again. Okay, almost there. Last one. Okay. And so basically what the counter is, again, it's gonna go up, right? Every time we press the green button, that will do one counter. And once it reaches 5, then this turns on. And then we have to reassign this to CT1. So once this is on, then our light will turn on, right? And let's use X003 as our reset. So we can reset the counter. Okay, so now let's go ahead and write this. Oops. And let's see, what am I missing here? I think this, I have to, yeah, I was basically creating a short, I believe, right there. So now I think we should be good. Yep. Okay, so now we're running. And so now every time we press this, there'll be one count. So right there is 1, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the green light turns on, right? And if we press X003, it resets it, right? So we can do 1, 2, oops, 2, and then we can hit the reset to go back to 0. And we have to do 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? And again, reset it with that. So let's do again a quick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reset. 1, 2, 3. Resets it to 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So you guys can see how that works. So now let's do count down. Right? Count down. And we'll change this. And so that is the current set point, and that is the down. So this one, we have to draw this line all the way. Grab this and I believe connect up here. Oh no, we have to erase this top one. Okay, and then we have to reconnect these here. And so now let's put this green button, X001. And so right now we'll still have the same reset, but it's only going to count down. So now let's see what happens when we um, download this to the PLC. One, two, three, four, five. One, two, three, four, five. And reset. Oh, yeah, obviously it counts down. So this would be used if, let's say that you're getting your set point from some other type of input device. Maybe it's counting how many times a bottle is put into a box. And once it reaches 12, then then it goes into another process. But let's say that it finds a bottle that's broken, right? So then it can count down. So then it can keep track until we get 12 bottles that are good. And then once you get to 12, then you can move it on to a next phase. All right, so let's count down. Next one, right, is count up, count down. So we have the option of two inputs and a reset. And let's do that real quick. Right, so right here, draw the up. Right, so now let's do the X004. X004 as the count up. X001 is down, and X003 is your reset. Right, so let's go ahead and write this project. And this one, right, we have two inputs, one to go up, one to go down. Write this to the PLC, transfer complete, run. And so now let's test it. So X004 is, right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turns on. Then we want to X003 to reset. Right? We can also do 4, 5. And we can do X001 to reset. Go back down to 4. But then we can go back up with that one. Right? So we're gonna do, right? So it'd be at 3, 4, 5. Right? So that's how counter works. So I think that's good for right now. On the next video, I will be going over some drum instructions and some math instructions, and then we'll go from there. All right, guys, thank you so much, and see you on the next video.